Back in the 1980s, tractors weren't about fancy electronics or touchscreens. They were about raw strength, steel, and endurance. And no brand captured that spirit better than Massey Ferguson. From the small farms of England to the rice fields of India, these red workhorses became the heartbeat of agriculture. They weren't built to look good. They were built to last forever. Today, we're rolling back in time to count down the 10 most reliable Massey Ferguson tractors of the 1980s. Machines so tough, some are still running today after 4 decades of hard work. From the legendary MF35 that started it all, to the powerhouse MF399 that closed out the decade with unstoppable might, this is the story of tractors that refuse to die. So sit tight, turn up the volume, and let's fire up some real vintage power, because you're about to meet the Massey Fergusons that built an era. Number 1. Massey Ferguson 35. Few machines in agricultural history have achieved the legendary status of the Massey Ferguson 35. Even though it first appeared in the late 1950s, by the time the 1980s arrived, the MF35 had already proven itself as one of the toughest, easiest to maintain tractors ever built. It became the backbone of countless small and medium farms across North America, Europe, and Asia. During the 1980s, many of these machines were already decades old, yet they continued to operate day after day, a testament to their timeless reliability. At its heart, the MF35 was powered by either the standard Motor Company 23C diesel engine or the later and more famous Perkins 3-cylinder diesel engine. The Perkins version quickly became a farmer's favorite because of its incredible torque at low RPMs and fuel efficiency. It was simple, rugged, and forgiving. The compression ratio was designed for easy cold starts, and its fuel system could tolerate lower quality diesel, a huge benefit in regions where fuel purity was uncertain. Maintenance was straightforward. Farmers could change oil, replace filters, and even service injectors themselves with minimal tools. This made the MF35 not just reliable, but self-reliant. A key trait in rural communities of the 1980s, where dealers and mechanics were miles away. The transmission was another highlight of the MF35's design. The 6-speed gearbox, 3 forward, 1 reverse in high-low range, was simple and sturdy, capable of handling heavy loads without premature wear. There were no complex synchronizers to fail, no fragile linkages to adjust, just solid metal doing honest work. The hydraulic system, based on Harry Ferguson's revolutionary 3-point linkage, provided consistent lift power and precise implement control. Even after years of use, the hydraulics rarely leaked or lost performance, and when they did, the parts were cheap and widely available. Comfort and features were minimal by modern standards, but every inch of the MF35 was built for endurance. Its compact size and low center of gravity made it ideal for hill farms and rough terrain. Farmers valued how predictable it felt. No surprises, no drama, just steady power. In many countries, the MF35 became the family tractor, passed down from father to son, still plowing fields decades later. It wasn't fast or fancy, but it embodied the kind of rugged simplicity that defined the best of Massey Ferguson engineering. Even today, nearly 70 years after its debut, thousands of MF35s still start up every morning, proving that true reliability never goes out of style. Number 2. Massey Ferguson 135. If the Massey Ferguson 35 built the foundation of the brand's reputation, the Massey Ferguson 135 turned it into a worldwide phenomenon. Launched in the mid-1960s and produced through the late 1970s, it was still one of the most common and most trusted tractors running across farms in the 1980s. Its reliability, simplicity, and mechanical honesty made it a farmer's best friend, especially in an era when tractors were starting to become more complicated and expensive. The MF135 became the everyman's tractor, affordable, easy to fix, and nearly indestructible. At the heart of the MF135 was its Perkins AD 3.152 diesel engine, an engine that quickly achieved legendary status. This 3-cylinder diesel produced around 45 horsepower, but it felt far stronger than its numbers suggested thanks to its exceptional torque curve. The engine's reliability stemmed from its straightforward mechanical design. No electronics, no fragile sensors, and no over-engineering. It could run for 10,000 plus hours with basic maintenance and would often outlast its operator. The Perkins engine also had a reputation for forgiving minor neglect. Even if oil changes were delayed or fuel filters weren't perfect, it rarely failed catastrophically. That made it perfect for farmers in the 1980s who didn't always have access to modern tools or high-quality diesel. The gearbox was another marvel of practical engineering. Most versions came with a 6-speed transmission, 3 forward gears in high and low ranges, while later models offered 8-speed options that made it more flexible for field and transport work. The gears meshed cleanly, and the clutch system could handle thousands of engagements before needing replacement. Farmers often praised the MF135 for its mechanical honesty. Every part felt purposeful, and nothing was overly complex. The hydraulics, based on the Ferguson 3-point linkage system, were reliable and precise. They could easily handle plows, seeders, mowers, and sprayers with consistent lift and control. Even after decades, many MF135s still have fully functional hydraulics without ever needing major repairs. The simple open-center system meant leaks were easy to identify and fix, often with basic tools and a few inexpensive parts. Comfort-wise, the MF135 was basic: a steel seat, a mechanical steering wheel, and simple gauges. But in return, you got unmatched dependability. It was light enough for delicate soil work, yet tough enough for heavy pulling. It didn't waste fuel, and it didn't waste your time. That's why by the 1980s, it had become a global icon, especially in developing regions where reliability was the difference between success and failure. Even today, the MF135 is often described as the tractor that never dies. Its parts are still being produced, and countless units from the 60s and 70s remain in daily operation. For many farmers, the MF135 wasn't just a machine. It was a dependable partner that defined what a real tractor should be: simple, strong, and endlessly reliable. Number 3. Massey Ferguson 165. When it comes to balancing strength, simplicity, and longevity, few tractors from the 1980s match the reputation of the Massey Ferguson, built during a golden era of mechanical engineering. The MF165 quickly earned its place as a dependable mid-range workhorse that could handle everything from plowing and baling to transport and light construction work. By the 1980s, it had already proven its worth across countless farms around the world, and its owners often described it as the tractor that just never quits. The heart of the MF65 was its Perkins A4.212 or AD 4.203 diesel engine, both of which became synonymous with rugged reliability. Producing around 58-65 horsepower, these engines weren't designed for speed or flash. They were designed to work all day, every day, without complaint. The Perkins engine was incredibly fuel efficient, running smoothly even on lower-grade diesel fuel. The cooling system was robust, preventing overheating during long plowing sessions, while the simple fuel injection system made it easy to service and resistant to clogging. Many of these engines have clocked over 12,000 hours of operation without needing a major overhaul, a number that speaks volumes about their durability. The transmission was another highlight of the MF165's design. Most models came with an 8-speed gearbox, providing an ideal balance between pulling power and travel speed. The gears were strong and well machined, ensuring that even under load, shifting remained smooth and precise. Farmers loved the predictable, almost mechanical feel of the clutch and gears. There was no unnecessary complexity, no electronics to fail, and no surprises. Maintenance was straightforward and inexpensive, something rural farmers greatly appreciated in the 1980s. The hydraulic system, built on the famous Ferguson 3-point linkage design, was as dependable as the engine itself. It provided steady lifting power and control over a wide range of implements, from plows and harrows to trailers and balers. The system rarely leaked or failed, even after decades of use. The overall balance of the MF65's chassis made it incredibly stable, giving operators confidence on slopes and in soft soil. What truly made the MF165 special, though, was its all-around reliability. It didn't just perform well, It did so year after year with minimal downtime. It started easily, ran smoothly, and felt indestructible. For many farmers in the 1980s, the MF-165 represented the ideal tractor. Not too small, not too large, and built with the kind of honesty that modern machines often lack. Even today, its strong presence in vintage farming communities and working fields proves one thing: the MF-165 wasn't just reliable for its time, it was reliable for all time. Number 4. Massey Ferguson 240. If the Massey Ferguson 15 was the farmer's dependable middleweight, the Massey Ferguson 240 was the small but mighty fighter. Compact, efficient, and practically unbreakable. By the 1980s, the MF-240 had become one of the most recognized tractors in the world, thanks to its simplicity, fuel economy, and legendary reliability. It was especially popular in regions like Asia, Africa, and South America, where harsh working conditions demanded machines that could endure heat, dust, and irregular maintenance schedules. The 2040 wasn't built for show. It was built to work, and it worked brilliantly. Under the hood, the MF-240 carried the Perkins AD3 52 three-cylinder diesel engine, the same power plant that made the MF-135 famous. Delivering around 46 horsepower, it offered the perfect blend of torque, efficiency, and smoothness. This engine could run all day on minimal fuel and would start reliably even after sitting unused for weeks. Its simple mechanical injection system and effective cooling setup made it nearly immune to common engine failures like fuel blockages or overheating, issues that plagued many competitors of the time. Farmers often joked that the MF-240 would still run even if you forgot to pamper it, and in many cases that was true. The transmission was a straightforward 8-speed gearbox, 6 forward, 2 reverse in earlier variants, known for being both tough and easy to service. The gear ratios were well spaced, allowing operators to find the right balance of speed and torque for various tasks, from tilling and sowing to light transport and mowing. The clutch system was robust, designed to withstand years of abuse in tough field conditions without losing performance. Maintenance access was excellent, and parts interchangeability with other Massey Ferguson models made repairs affordable and convenient. The hydraulic system was another area where the MF-240 shined. Its Ferguson 3-point linkage offered precise implement control and a lifting capacity that was impressive for a tractor of its size. It was ideal for small farms that used plows, rotavators, and cultivators daily. Despite its compact size, the MF-240 could handle heavy workloads without strain, thanks to its excellent power-to-weight ratio and balanced design. Farmers also appreciated its simplicity and economy. There were no unnecessary gadgets to maintain, and every component was built for longevity. It was the tractor for people who wanted reliability over luxury, one that could handle long days and poor conditions without letting them down. Even decades later, you'll still find MF-240s in operation across rural landscapes worldwide, chugging away like loyal workhorses. The MF-240 proved beyond doubt that small tractors could be just as dependable and hard-working as their larger siblings, earning it a well-deserved place among Massey Ferguson's most reliable machines of the 1980s. Number 5. Massey Ferguson 255. The Massey Ferguson 255 stands as one of the unsung heroes of the 1980s. A tractor that might not have had the glamour of bigger models, but earned deep respect for its rock-solid reliability, easy maintenance, and all-round usefulness. It wasn't a luxury tractor. It wasn't overpowered, but it was the kind of machine that you could rely on, season after season, for everything from plowing and harrowing to hauling and mowing. For many farmers, it became the most practical and trustworthy member of the Massey Ferguson family. The MF-255 was powered by the Perkins A4236 four-cylinder diesel engine, a power plant that was already famous for its toughness and long life. Delivering roughly 60-65 horsepower, it had an abundance of torque for its size and could handle heavy implements without straining. What made the engine special was its ability to run smoothly even in harsh conditions. It didn't mind dusty air, hot days, or lower quality fuel. As long as you changed the oil and filters on time, it would just keep running. Farmers from Europe to India praised it for starting easily in cold weather and refusing to quit even after 10,000 hours of use. It was, quite simply, an engine you could trust with your livelihood. The transmission was built to match that reliability. Most versions came with an 8-speed gearbox, providing a wide range of gears for both field and road work. The clutch was famously durable, strong enough for loader operations and repetitive stop-start work without wearing prematurely. This made the MF205i ideal for mixed-use farms where the tractor switched constantly between transport duties and field tasks. The simplicity of its drivetrain also meant that any competent mechanic could service it quickly without special tools or expensive parts. The hydraulic system was another strong point. It featured the tried-and-tested Ferguson 3-point linkage, capable of lifting and controlling a wide range of implements. The hydraulic pump was overbuilt and long-lasting, providing steady lifting performance even after years of continuous operation. Farmers often remarked that the hydraulics on their MF255s felt as strong after a decade as they did the day they bought the tractor, proof of Massey Ferguson's commitment to reliability. Another reason farmers loved the 2055 was its balance of power and size. It was big enough to handle serious work, but small enough to maneuver easily in tight spaces, barns, or orchards. The build quality was excellent: thick steel panels, a strong chassis, and minimal electronics to fail. Even the wiring harnesses were simple and durable, a key factor in long-term dependability. In short, the MF255 was the workhorse that just didn't know how to give up. It didn't make headlines, but it made farmers' lives easier every day. Many of these machines from the 1980s are still in use today, often with their original engines. That kind of legacy doesn't happen by accident. It happens when a company builds a tractor with honesty, practicality, and the farmer in mind. And that's exactly what Massey Ferguson did with the MF2. Number 6. Massey Ferguson 275. The Massey Ferguson 275 was one of the toughest tractors of its time, and by the 1980s, it had earned a reputation as a true powerhouse of endurance. Built for medium to heavy farm work, it combined raw strength with straightforward mechanics, a balance farmers appreciated. Its Perkins A4.248 diesel engine produced around 67 horsepower, delivering incredible pulling power with remarkable fuel efficiency. The engine design was conservative, focused on reliability rather than pushing performance limits. It could work long hours in the field without overheating or losing oil pressure, even under heavy loads. The 275's transmission came in 8 or 12-speed options, both built to handle serious stress. Gear changes were smooth, and the clutch was strong enough to outlast most competitors in its class. Its hydraulic system was robust, offering consistent lifting performance and responsive control for large implements. Maintenance was easy. Filters, oil, and fuel lines were all conveniently placed for quick servicing. What set the 275 apart was its build quality. The chassis was heavily reinforced, and its overall weight distribution gave it excellent traction in difficult conditions. Farmers who owned it often described it as indestructible, and even today many of these tractors remain in active use. Whether plowing hard clay or hauling grain wagons, the MF275 was a dependable partner. It was, in every sense, built like a tank, durable, strong, and designed to keep going when others quit. Number 7. Massey Ferguson 285. The Massey Ferguson 285 took reliability to another level by combining strength and simplicity in a package that could handle nearly any job. Powered by the Perkins A4.318 diesel engine, the 285 produced around 80 horsepower, giving farmers enough muscle for deep tillage, baling, and heavy trailer work. The engine's durability was legendary. It could clock thousands of hours with nothing more than basic maintenance. Its large displacement and low rev torque made it both powerful and efficient. The 8-speed gearbox and rugged drivetrain provided excellent control, whether on the field or on the road. The hydraulics were dependable, capable of handling heavy implements without lag or leaks, thanks to Massey Ferguson's well-engineered pump system. Operators praised its balance and smooth operation, saying it felt unbreakable even under pressure. The 2085 was also comfortable for long working days, with a wide platform and well-placed controls. But above all, it was tough, designed to handle long hours, heavy loads, and challenging terrain. For large farms and contractors in the 1980s, the MF-2085 was more than a tractor. It was a trusted workhorse that simply wouldn't quit. Even after decades, many still run strong, a true testament to its durable design. Number 8. Massey Ferguson 375. The Massey Ferguson 375 was a perfect example of how Massey Ferguson blended power with dependability. Equipped with a Perkins A4.236 or AD4.248 diesel engine, it delivered 75 horsepower with exceptional torque and fuel efficiency. It became a favorite among contractors and commercial farmers in the 1980s, who needed a reliable mid-range tractor capable of handling demanding work day after day. Its hydraulics were upgraded to provide faster lift speeds and stronger pressure, ideal for loader and heavy implement use. The 8-speed transmission was reliable and smooth, while the power steering made it easy to maneuver. The 375's cooling system and air filtration were designed for harsh climates, making it a global success in hot, dusty environments like India, Africa, and the Middle East. Durability was at the heart of the 375's design. Thick steel panels, strong axles, and a bulletproof engine block. It was also praised for its simplicity. No complex electronics meant fewer breakdowns. Even today, the MF375 continues to be produced in some regions because of its reputation as a dependable, all-purpose tractor that lasts decades with proper care. Number 9. Massey Ferguson 390. By the late 1980s, the Massey Ferguson 390 represented the next evolution of MF reliability. It delivered 85 horsepower from a Perkins A4.248 or A4.236 diesel engine, combining high power with low maintenance demands. The 390 was built for versatility, ideal for plowing, baling, and transport, and was equally popular with small and large farms. Its transmission, available in 12 or 16-speed variants, was durable and easy to shift, giving precise control across all terrains. The hydraulic system was upgraded for better responsiveness, while the rear axle and chassis were strengthened to handle heavier implements without flexing. Operators also enjoyed a more comfortable driving position, though reliability remained the core focus. Farmers praised the MF390 for being dependable, strong, and surprisingly fuel-efficient for its class. It struck the perfect balance between modern performance and old-school durability. Even now, many 390s from the 1980s are still in daily operation, proof that Massey Ferguson's engineering philosophy of strength through simplicity truly worked. Number 10. Massey Ferguson 399. The Massey Ferguson 399 closed the decade on a high note. Introduced in the late 1980s, it combined raw power, smart engineering, and time-tested reliability. Its Perkins 1006 diesel engine produced 97 horsepower, making it one of the strongest MF models of its time. Despite the added power, the 399 maintained the same simple, service-friendly design philosophy that farmers loved. The 12-speed transmission and heavy-duty hydraulics gave it the versatility to handle big implements and commercial workloads. The chassis and axles were overbuilt to endure heavy strain, while the cooling system ensured consistent performance in all weather. Farmers appreciated that it was modern enough to be comfortable yet mechanical enough to repair easily in the field. What made the MF399 special was its balance between innovation and tradition. It brought power and refinement without sacrificing reliability. Farmers trusted it to do everything: plow, haul, seed, and harvest without complaint. Decades later, it remains a symbol of Massey Ferguson's engineering excellence and one of the most respected tractors of the 1980s. They weren't just tractors, they were lifelines, machines that fed families, built farms, and kept moving when everything else broke down. The 1980s gave us some of the most reliable Massey Fergusons ever built, and decades later, their engines still roar with the same determination. From the humble MF35 to the mighty MF399, Each one tells a story of trust, hard work, and timeless engineering. If you grew up hearing that familiar diesel rumble, you know what these machines mean. They weren't just built in factories, they were built with heart. Which of these legendary Massey Fergusons is your favorite? Tell us in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and bell icon, because in our next video, we're diving into the most powerful vintage tractors ever made.